Okay, so I just thought I'd start with this quote. This quote kind of highlights the changing environment of ebooks and content creation, and I think this quote can be applied to in an educational context as well, because our challenge is also to create engaging and informative content through I guess the capabilities of the medium, which is ebooks or ebook readers and apps. So today I'll be talking about creating ebooks, so reinventing the reading experience for students. So I'll go through some of the tools and apps that are available in creating ebooks, what ebooks are, and also the creation process of how to go about creating ebooks. I actually did a webinar just a week ago, so this is kind of a repeat of that. So if you attended that webinar last week, you get to hear it again. Okay. So I did this poll during the webinar, and it's have you heard of ebooks? Just to get a quick hands up of no, I've never heard of them. Okay, good. So everyone's heard of ebooks. What about I own one or more ebooks? Can we just get a hands up? Okay, that's good. Very good. So I can breeze through the first part of this presentation. So what are ebooks? You probably already know that an ebook is an electronic book, and basically ebooks are consumed on screen rather than paper through ebook readers, apps, or or even your desktop computer screen. Okay, so the advantages of ebooks over printed books, so they're quicker to obtain. So they can be uploaded and made available either on Views or somewhere on the web that students can easily download, and you can easily update and upgrade them. Of course, you can integrate multimedia and interactivity. They're more portable, they don't take up much physical space, and they're less bulkier than if you were carrying textbooks. And of course, references within the books can be hot links. So if you do have external references like URLs that you want to link to, that's easily done. You can include your own custom branding. Global searches within the book is also a feature that comes available with a lot of e-reader apps, as well as even e-readers, where you can search for certain keywords within the book. That makes it easy for you to search for certain keywords. And of course, I believe the technology will only get better for ebooks. Oh, I forgot to view this full screen. Okay, sorry. So the common ebook formats, the three common formats that I'll be talking about is PDF, EPUB, and iBook. The others are AZW, which is an Amazon specific format. LIT and ODF, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're window device specific, and Mobi is for the Mobi Pocket ebook reader. Okay, so PDF, it acts like a series of images, so every page will show exactly how you laid it out on on the screen. So it acts as a series of images, so that the interactivity is actually limited. So you can't click on, say, an image and make it zoom out. So that's the limitations of PDFs, that they're very flat. An EPUB, it's basically uses a markup language, and like HTML is for websites, EPUB is the markup language for ebooks, So it basically allows the text to adapt to the user's device. So it allows you to increase the text or decrease the text size. EPUB 3 is also now available, and it includes integration of sound and video and interactivity. I haven't actually tested this EPUB 3. Most of the EPUBs I've looked at is just the EPUB 2 format, which only really deals with links, images, and text. But this format can be read on most ebook readers. Even on the iPad, there are ebook reader apps available on the iPad that you can use to read these kind of formats. And of course, there's the iBook, which is created using the program iBooks Author. And it easily integrates multimedia and interactivity, but as you know, iBooks is only available for the iPad or Apple devices, and iBooks Author is only available on Mac devices, or yes, Apple computers as well. Okay, so we'll go through some reading devices. eBook readers, the popular ones are the Kindle and the Kobo, and you've got your tablets, you've got your iPad, Galaxy Tab, and also the Microsoft Surface, and also you can view eBooks on the smartphone, but we recommend you not to because they're a bit small. So this is actually a graph that I got from a document called Turning the Page, The Future of eBooks by PricewaterhouseCoopers. And it's just a comparison that it compares the suitability of the features of reading devices such as the smartphone, e-reader, tablet, and of course a laptop. And as you can see, the tablet has, the ability to have all these features, except, the battery life is not that great as an e-reader. So this is just a great graph of comparing those features with each device. So if you want a copy of this this document or resource, I can definitely send it out. So if you just want to email me, I'll give you my email at the end of the presentation. And just another question: which device do you own? I'll go with the easy one, iPad. Everyone's got an iPad. Anyone have a Kindle? Okay. What about a Kobo reader? Oh, okay. And Samsung? Okay. And are there any other devices that I haven't mentioned that people do own for? Well, what? Oh, okay. All right. That's good. Okay, so now I'll go through the tools, software, and apps that are available in creating these ebooks. There's the iBooks Author, Adobe InDesign, Sigil, the epub editor, Creative Book Builder, and a couple of web tools that I'll just mention, Mag Plus and Inkling. Okay, so we'll go through the iBooks reader first. So these are the features, and also as you know, every software and app also has its limitations. So the features of the iBooks Author is there's templates available, there's a drag and drop functionality, which makes adding multimedia very easy, and interactivity is built in using the widgets, or you can use external widgets as well. There's a table of contents that's automatically generated, and the ability to add a glossary page. You can add a cover, and also it exports to an iBook format, which you can then upload onto the web for students to download, or you can export it as a PDF or a text format, which of course loses that interactivity. And also there's an option to add voiceover. The limitations, of course, as I already mentioned, that you need a Mac to actually use the iBooks Author to create an iBook, and it also requires an iOS device to view them. You can't add links to images, but there is workarounds in doing that. And also it doesn't natively provide the ability to embed the YouTube videos. So what I mean by that is you can't just embed a YouTube video just by dragging the URL into it. You have to use a widget, which is an easy process as well. And there is a really great widget library online called bookry.com. So bookry.com, and that has a lot of different widgets that you can use for the to add that interactivity in your iBook. And also the question types are limited to just hotspot, I think drag and drop, hotspot questions, and multiple choice. So this is how it looks like when you first open iBooks Author. You get a template chooser, and you have these different templates to choose from. And this is just a quick overview of the interface. So it's kind of like PowerPoint, where you have your slides or the pages on the left-hand side and all your tools at the top. And the thing On the right hand here, that's your inspector panel, and that basically controls all the different options of the different elements on your page. I do run a Creating iBooks face-to-face workshop, and I'm not sure when the next one is, but if you want to find out more information, also please do email me. Okay, I'll go through Adobe InDesign, and it can include hyperlinks, videos, and images, and also table of contents do carry into the EPUB format. The option to export to DAISY, digital talking book, is also available. The limitations are it is a paid software, there's no built-in widgets, and basically you have to start from scratch. There's no templates available that you can choose from. And also interactive forms only work in some PDF reader apps. And of course, it's a very complex program, Adobe InDesign, so you do need some experience in using Adobe products, such as like Photoshop or Illustrator, just to get you started on Adobe InDesign. It's better to start with maybe Photoshop, just to allow yourself to get familiar with the interface of how Adobe products work. Okay, so this is just a quick screenshot of how to, they say it's very easy to export to an EPUB format. So you've got your InDesign layout there, and it's a matter of just going to File, Export for EPUB. But please be mindful that the conversion is not perfect. Some formatting might not come across, so you do still have to put it into another program to edit little bits and pieces. And that's also a great resource from InDesign to iPad if you do want to start using InDesign. Sigil is the EPUB editor, and there are quite a few EPUB editors, creators out there, but this is the one that I've looked at. And what I've actually, when I did my experimentation, I did a layout in InDesign, exported it as an EPUB, and then had to fix it up in Sigil. So because of that conversion, that it's not perfect, I still had to open it up in Sigil and fix it up that way. But the advantages of Sigil is that it is free and it's multi-platform, so you can use it with Windows and Mac. You can add images and audio, simple interface, table of contents is automatically generated as well. The limitations are that there's those import issues. You have to save the Word doc as a plain text before importing it. Again, conversion tools are not perfect, and it's also designed to work with ePub 2.0, so you can't really add the videos in there at the moment. And this is how it looks like. So again, your pages are on the left-hand side, and the middle bit is where your layout is. As you can see, it's very simple, just with text. And I also looked at a couple of apps. This is one called Creative Book Builder, and it publishes to an EPUB format, and it's $4.99 from the App Store. So it's very simple to use. On your iPad, you can easily add images, text, and video and sound. There's also options of adding charts and adding links as well, and there's also that glossary feature. And it's a WYSIWYG layout. So what that means is what you see is what you get. So whatever you put on your layout is what you're going to get when you export it out. And you can choose the EPUB version you want to export out to, 3.0, if there's videos, or 2.0. And there's also various sharing options, such as email and other social media. Okay, so this is how it looks like. You can select a layout, and then you add your different elements. This is where you add your media, files, and things like that. This is how it looks like when you're adding text, and how it looks at the back. That's how it looks like on the page. And there's also very similar ones, Book Creator, which is there's also there's a free version available, and there's one paid version that's $6.49, and it works very similar to the Book Builder. where you choose a book shape. And the one that I've got is actually the free version, so it doesn't have all the features. And it's very similar in the way that you can add photos, videos, the drawing tool, add text, and also add sound. And other publishing platforms that's worth mentioning is the web tools inkling.com and magplus.com, and they actually claim to add that interactivity that in your ebooks. But I think it is paid. So I think there are trial versions, but I'm pretty sure that you do have to pay in order to use these web tools. Okay, so just the creation process, this is my favorite part. Think about what you want to achieve. So think about the target audience. Of course, this is going to help you choose the software, the tool, and the app that you're going to choose. So if you do have first-year students who have iPads, it might be worth doing an iBook so that everyone is able to access the eBook. Also plan and organize content. So the way I do that is I break up the content into chapters and sections, as well as I use storyboards as well to lay out what I want on each page. That helps me, I don't know, that's my graphic design background, I guess. Also, visuals matter. Apply basic design principles in layout, which I will talk about shortly. And integrate multimedia and interactivity when you can, or when it adds value to the content. So visuals matter. Again, consider your audience. Have a consistent look and feel. Don't use too many fonts. Have a consistent font throughout the whole book. Assess the images and visuals that you are going to use. Make sure they do add value and they're not just there for decorative purposes. And the design elements that I mentioned earlier were the line, shape, color, and text, and space. If your course is not very visual, you can use these different elements to still make your book visually pleasing. And these elements are just used to direct the eye or focus the eye to a particular part of the book. For example, if you have a larger font, of course the eye is going to be drawn to that. If you have a line or different shapes that have that directional value, then the eye can be drawn to that as well. So just consider line, shape, color, text, and space in your layout, because it can still be visually appealing without using images. And of course, accessibility. If you do use videos, just be mindful about the size. If you're going to just import them into the book, that might cause the book to be a bit larger. So the best solution is to actually embed the video within the book. And these are just three tips from a source that I found on the net called 131 Tips for Graphics and Animations for E-Learning. That's also a really, really good resource. And these are just 3 tips that I took from there. When chunking information, a title with a modern color and interesting font can be just as effective as a graphic. Ensure multimedia elements provide value and create context for visualization. So for example, if you do have charts and stuff like that, make sure you do explain what they are. Okay, integration of multimedia interactive content. Again, I talked about accessibility and the size of the book if you do have a lot of videos. And also use interaction for value. Some good examples are found in bestinteractiveebooks.com if you want to have a browse. I don't have a lot of time, but these are actually, Cleaning Mona Lisa is a very short book, but it's created by Lee Sanstead, and it's $4.99, but it just shows you what you can do with the iBooks author, the capability of the iBooks author in a very simple way, but it's also very engaging. So what he does is he talks about just cleaning Mona Lisa is I forgot the word. Sorry, just lost for words. I'm a bit nervous now, but But do check it out. He talks about different artworks, and you can interact with different artworks as well. I think he's a curator. So that is a good book if you do want to check it out. And another one, People magazine, is a design magazine that's available from the newsstand. And it's also got a lot of interactive features in it. But again, that's a different kind of form, a different form of ebooks. It's more leaning towards an app than it is an ebook. And just lastly, the future of ebooks, how just to think of, something to think about how gamification may fit in ebook, personalized narratives, and student-created content as well as group content. So these are things that some points to think about when creating ebooks. Thank you. Questions?